exclusive insight into the world of Badger athletics, this is Wisconsin Huddle.
Wisconsin, Trench Kahuna.
Here's Andrew Banstra.
Welcome into Cousin Subs right here next to UW-Madison's campus. I'm Andrew Banstra with WISC TV, and this is the Wisconsin Huddle. This evening we are thrilled to be joined by Wisconsin women's basketball's Shay Bollin. Shay, thank you so much for making the time to join us.
Yes, thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Absolutely. We are thrilled to have you on. And as always, you know, our goal here is to get you to know Shay as a person. You know her as the basketball player for that Red Hot Badgers team, but we're going to get to know who she is off the court. And for us, there's no better way to do that than with a game we like to call two swishes and an air ball. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say two things that are true, one thing's that a lie. The catch is Shay is going to pretend like all three things are true. You in the live audience and you at home, your job is to see if you can snuff out which one was the lie. I hear that you fell in love with basketball at such a young age that, you know, you were playing other sports, but it got to a point where you really didn't like it, where your parents tried to take you in. You say you maybe were crying and just begging, like, I just want to play basketball. Is that true?
That is true.
Awesome. So 1 for 1 of 3 things that are all true. The second one being, as you grew older, you did start to like other sports. You had a scholarship offer to be a soccer player somewhere, but basketball was always the right answer, right?
Yep. My parents made me go to the other sports, so I figured I might as well be good at them.
My third one being, you're from Massachusetts, and this is pretty cool. In high school, you won a competition among every single female athlete in the state that was a high school basketball player, and you shot 81% at something called Shot for Life, and were officially named the best girls shooter in the state.
Yes, that is also true.
Clearly, I think that one lines up and makes sense. But we pretended like all three are true, so now this is where you in the live audience and you at home come in. Which one do you think is the lie? Gonna go with 1. Okay, we're hearing 1, that you were crying that you didn't want to play other sports, which I think is incredible. 2, we're hearing 2 twos. And I think that is the lie, right?
That is the lie.
Soccer was never really...
Soccer, actually, I played soccer the longest other than all the other sports.
Okay.
I think I stopped playing in 7th grade, but I did play pretty competitively on a club team, but I just didn't love it the way I loved basketball.
What is it about basketball, the game, the camaraderie that makes the sport so special to you?
I think it's probably a combination of things. One being, I think it was always a sport that I was best at and came naturally to me. And so I think that just naturally gave it an edge over the other sports, as well as it just being a big part of my family.
That was true. Let's talk about the Shot for Life. You were named the best girls shooter in the state, 81%.
You shot essentially for, I don't know, maybe 3 hours straight.
That's a lot of shooting.
It was a long time. Yeah, you just would shoot. I think you started off with threes and then maybe did some free throws. I can't totally remember, but all of the money that we raised went to brain cancer research directly to a hospital. And so I just love the cause behind it, and the people who run the event are incredible. And so it was something that was really cool to be a part of, and winning was just an added bonus.
We are just starting to get to know Shay Bollin. We've got a lot of cool stuff in store. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back to the Wisconsin Huddle. Welcome back into Cousin Subs. This is the Wisconsin Huddle. I'm Andrew Banstra, thrilled to be joined by Wisconsin women's basketball's Shay Bollin. And this is the Student Athlete Story segment presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. We're going to start off with a really cool story about kind of your love for basketball and how it was fruitful for you in a lot of ways. Confidence, it sounds, was never an issue for you when you took the court, so much so that when you were in 5th grade, you made a pact with your dad. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes, so my dad coached me at a young age. Both my parents, my mom more so later in high school, but my dad and I were just playing basketball, and somehow I think just always being around basketball. My mom runs the biggest AAU basketball program in New England area, and so I just saw people, getting college scholarships, and they would take me to local college games, and so it was a dream of mine at that age that I would want to play in college. And so I told my dad, for some reason, I was like, Dad, if I have a college scholarship by the time I'm 16, will you buy me whatever car I want? And he obviously at the time was like, yeah, of course.
Right, a 5th grader, it's like, sure.
Sure, if you're 16 and have a scholarship, I will. And
that's because that's young.
And I think in girls basketball, it's a little bit more common now that a lot of coaches will offer based on potential, or, girls are typically finished growing at that point, unlike some guys maybe. So, yeah, I was lucky enough to have a couple scholarships at that age, and then when I was 16, and I kept bringing it up. It wasn't like a one-time conversation. I think even when I got my first scholarship, I was like, it looks like you're gonna buy me a car. And he kind of was just like, we'll see, I don't know.
Right.
But then when I turned 16, in the garage was my car, so.
That is amazing, and maybe to make it even cooler, you still have that car, right?
I do. Yeah, it's a great car, Ford Explorer. It's been great to me, and it's gone through lots of states and driving, and yeah, I love it.
You mentioned your parents. Clearly they have a basketball background. They played in college too, right?
Yes, they did. My mom played at Ithaca College, and my dad played at Colgate.
Right now you're a graduate senior, but you didn't start at Wisconsin. You started at Duke. Can you first talk about that experience?
I had always dreamed of going to Duke. My dad was always a really big Duke fan, and I went to an elite camp when I was in 8th grade and just kind of fell in love with the school and the area, and always just, loved the idea of playing there.
What was your next stop? And for somebody like me that has never had, never played Division I sports, never was in the transfer portal, how does that work for somebody that would want to know?
I was fortunate enough to really still have great connections and relationships with a lot of the schools that recruited me in high school. So I was talking to a lot of the same coaches, and I think when I entered into the portal, I started to realize that the Big Ten would be a great fit for me basketball-wise, just the style of play, and a lot of the schools. And so I ended up committing to Illinois and played there for 2 years, graduated from there.
What was it that said, I want to finish my college career here in Madison?
I was thinking when I went into the transfer portal, I was ready to come back home and, just maybe be closer to my family, and was kind of looking for that a little bit. But then Coach P had called me. She got the job, and I knew about her from her old school at Missouri, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I would really come to Wisconsin. Like, it's just as far as Illinois was.
Right.
But we just talked on the phone, and from our first phone conversation, I was like, oh no, I have to take this serious. And so I was talking to, a lot of other schools at the time, because even though I did really want to go home, I was still open and talking to pretty much, any school that I thought would be a possibility. And so talked to Coach P a lot, really frequently in this process, and she was just, I could tell from the start of how incredible of a human she is, and still can say that confidently to this day, and ended up coming on a visit and met the rest of the staff, and that was just proved to me even further, wow, these are great people, and I could really see their vision of what they wanted this program and the culture to be. So I just really prayed about it and talked a lot about it with my family, and realized that, I can go home for the rest of my life, and these are only 2 years that I have, and it'll be cool to see another part of the world and just, get a new experience.
We'll get into just how good Wisconsin women's basketball has been later in the show, but first we've got a fun game to play when we come back to the Wisconsin Huddle. Welcome back into Cousin Subs. This is the Wisconsin Huddle. I'm Andrew Banstra, joined by Wisconsin women's basketball's Shay Bollin. And Shay, we mentioned that you're from Boston. You now live in Wisconsin. So we came up with a special version of Badger Blind Rank to kind of pit your two homes against each other, see which maybe institutions food-wise you would pick over the other. So you know how blind ranks work. I'm going to tell you 5 things. You just don't know what is coming next. So maybe you don't like this, but I feel like a lot of people in Boston do. We'll start with clam chowder.
Oh, I love clam chowder.
Okay, I figured as much. But how much do you love it on a scale of 1 to 5?
I mean, if it's specifically Massachusetts clam chowder, that's definitely in a different category than other clam chowder.
I feel like it's got to be, right?
Yes, it really is. I would say, I'm going to just go 3.
It's a safe pick.
Yeah.
It's a safe pick. You don't know what's coming. I totally get it. Now, let's switch gears. Kind of, I don't know if it's the equivalent to clam chowder, but it's certainly loved like clam chowder is. Cheese curds. Where would you put that 1 through 5? And are you a fan?
I love cheese curds.
They're so good.
The first time I actually had them was at Culver's in Illinois. I'd never been to Culver's before, and I was quickly obsessed.
They're
My
so
teammates
good.
would always laugh at me because I would always go to Culver's, but and they're even better here at a real restaurant.
They are.
I'm gonna say 2.
2? Okay. And I feel like I have to say this next. Culver's was one of my answers. Where would you put that? You've got 1, 4, and 5, and there is still some really good ones waiting. It's not like I'm going to say, asparagus,
Okay, we'll go 4.
4? Okay.
Yeah.
So far we've got Culver's at 4, we've got cheese curds at 2, clam chowder at 3. You've got 1 and 5 left.
Okay.
How about Dunkin' Donuts?
Oh.
It's a big thing in Boston, right?
It is.
Yeah.
I love Dunkin'.
I'm not a huge fan, I gotta be honest.
Okay, I will say though, something, I don't know, maybe this is me being biased, but something about Dunkin's here, it's not the same.
Yeah, the coffee's
It's not the same, but
No.
at home, it's good. I'm gonna go 5.
Okay, fair enough. We'll say
Because
it was,
it is hit or miss.
It
Sometimes
is.
I'm like, this wasn't made quite right. So.
But yeah, we'll say a Wisconsin Dunkin' is
Okay,
number 5.
it'll be 5.
And that leaves number 1 for something I would assume would be a number 1 worthy, lobster rolls.
Okay, I love lobster rolls.
How could you not, right?
I don't know if I would have put them at number 1, but I mean, there's nothing better than a Cape Cod lobster roll. So.
You can't go wrong with it. So before we send it to break, what would have been your number 1 if you could repick?
I might have to go cheese curds.
You
I
can't
really
go
might.
wrong with that.
Yeah, they're so good.
They are so good. And honestly, we may grab some because if you didn't know, you can get cheese curds at Cousin Subs. You can't find that at any other deli. We're going to go eat some of those, and we'll be right back.
You're watching Wisconsin Huddle.
Welcome back into Cousin Subs. I'm Andrew Banstra, joined by Shay Bollin from the Wisconsin women's basketball team, and this is the Wisconsin Huddle. We haven't really gotten into it. We've mentioned it, danced around it, but let's talk about it. I mean, there's no secret that Wisconsin women's basketball has had its fair share of struggles in the past, but this year, things are different, and that was really proved, it felt, when that Michigan State game happens. You beat a ranked team, and it has just kept going on. I mean, to get some of the stats, 3-1 start in conference play was the best start since 2010-2011. You started 9-0 at home, the best in basically 20 years. What is it about Coach P, Coach Robin Pinchton, the new head coach for the Badgers, that has made this turnaround happen so fast?
The first thing that comes to mind when I think of Coach P and just what's made this happen as quickly as it has is just kind of that foundation that she wanted to set for our team. And she was just so set on her non-negotiables that she was having during the recruiting process with the girls that she was going to bring in. And she made that very clear to us. The first conversation that we had on the phone, she told me that she had 3 non-negotiables for her recruiting process, and the first one was just like that locker room piece and the culture. Are you going to be someone who brings value as a teammate and as a person? The second one being, people who want to play in March and just like are going to help us compete at that level. And the third one being just like an uncommon love for basketball and just that work ethic. And I think that she did a really great job bringing those pieces together, all from different schools and backgrounds, and kind of just pieces that have gelled and fit together really well. And from the start of the season, our first week, we didn't even touch a basketball. We literally sat upstairs in a conference room and talked, cried, laughed for hours. And we had like a little retreat as a team and just really got to know each other.
How unique is that, starting and not touching a basketball for a week? You've been at 3 schools, 3 very high-level programs. How unique is that?
Yeah, it's definitely unique. I think that Coach P places a huge emphasis on that human connection and that personal relationship that we have with her. And I truly, I could call her in the middle of the night if I needed anything. She has such a motherly instinct about her, and we all feel that way about her. I think that we all go to her, we're like, Coach P, we need help with this.
When we come back, I'm going to put you to a test when it comes to knowing your teammates that I don't think you've maybe ever had before. We'll do that when we come back to the Wisconsin Huddle. Welcome back into Cousin Subs. This is the Wisconsin Huddle. I'm Andrew Banstra. Here for an incredibly exciting game that is always a fan favorite. Shay, we're going to put your teammates to the test, or at least your knowledge of them. We're going to show you 4 Instagram posts, but block out the name, the picture, the everything. You got to tell me which teammate it is based off the caption. Are you ready for that?
I am. Hopefully I've seen the post.
That would be helpful. Now, I didn't pick the posts, but you can see the dates on them.
Okay.
And some of them are older than just this year.
Oh, okay.
It may be tough. So the caption here is Shoota on the loose, hashtag year 2. My hint would be that she had a game earlier this year where she hit like 8 threes.
Lily Cron.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I was confused because of the year 2. I was like, year 2.
What has it been like playing with her?
It's awesome. You know, Lily's a great teammate. Like you mentioned, I mean, her shot is just incredible. It's always nice when you pass it to her. You're like, oh, I'll get an assist.
And now this next one, I'm pretty much certain that you're going to know. That would be my hint. I like my uniform the same color as my tan. Do you know who that may have been?
That would be me.
That would be you.
Yes.
Okay, so now we'll take a look at the picture. At Illinois. So
Still true.
you wouldn't want to tan the color of a red uniform.
Yeah, but like a little bit red is better than super pale. Like
Fair.
My spray tans will still always be, yeah.
So you're 2 for 2 so far. The goal is to go 4 for 4, but to do that, we've got to hit number 3.
Oh.
This one, it says, in my bag like ruffles.
Oh, Des.
Absolutely. So we've got Destiny Howell. I don't know if that
I
was
never have seen this.
I don't know where, maybe it was an NIL
Maybe.
deal or something, but really cool.
Yeah.
She has been fantastic. And you two's leadership, I would imagine, is important on a team that doesn't have as many, people that have been here for a while outside of, you mentioned Lily, you've got Ronnie, but a lot of new faces. Here comes number 4. All the pressure is on. We've got new kid on the block. Hashtag baby badger.
Nikki?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You got it.
Oh, yeah, she is our baby.
How fun has it been, getting to know her?
It's great. It's
Absolutely.
great. Yeah, she's like a little sister to me. From the summer, just, I mentioned previously, I just had the most amazing seniors when I was a freshman, and they just took such great care of me. So I think it's only right that I try to give back and, be that like mom figure for her. And I do her hair before every game. I'm like, when are you going to learn to do this yourself?
Right,
one day I'm not going to be here.
Well, Nikki Kerstein makes you 4 for 4. That was an incredibly good performance. And how good has the performance been for Wisconsin women's basketball this year? Please go watch them. Thank you for watching this. Now, Shay, before we close, what's your favorite way that you've broken down a huddle in the past or this year?
I think that I always just like a classic together on 3.
Take us in.
Okay, together on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Together, we will close this show. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next week.